Hello, my name is 27 and welcome back to IL2 Tank Crew. And we're doing our next penetration test. I figure I might as well do these all in a row and then, the rest of the stuff I was planning to do. Uh, Today we're doing the Panzer IIIM. And I know the Tiger one did run on a little bit long. Sorry about that. I felt I should include all the armor piercing tries because I felt someone would go, oh, this is invalidated because they didn't try it with all the armor penetrating shells because the heat one actually wasn't that great because well, the Sherman I found actually possibly may have a 56-degree slope on it, which means if it does, that explains entirely why it didn't go through the front slope at all. The front slope, if it's 56 degrees, is 91 millimeters, which heat doesn't have the variation that, well, armor piercing could because different gunpowder doesn't really affect it. It's a chemical penetrator, basically a molten stream of copper. So speed it's going doesn't really affect it, but that's why it always has that set 90 millimeter penetration because it's chemical, not kinetic energy based. And I think the reason why the APHE, the subcaliber, did so poorly as well, it bounced often despite having plenty penetration on paper, is due to the actual penetrator size and at the close range. The penetrator size on that caliber round is actually a 37 out of an 88. So the actual penetrator is a lot lighter and doesn't have as much mass, and it's not moving. I don't think it's moving. I'll have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it's not moving any faster than the penetrator than the APHE shell is, which is a full 88 and a lot bigger. It can just force its way through the angled armor, while the penetrator is just skipping off some of the times the front plate. But either way, enough rambling on the last one. This one, the Panzer IIIM. Expectations for it. Just looking at the penetration numbers, it might go through the KV1 with the APHE. Depending on where it hits on the Sherman, it might go through, because if it hits the bulges, it probably will penetrate due to them being at a much shallower angle and still being the same armor. But if it hits the main slope of the hull, it probably won't penetrate. T-34, I probably expect to penetrate fine. Now, I have made one change compared to the last run. I have decreased the angle on the close set of Shermans, the close set of targets on the right side, by 10 degrees. Let's just get this started up at the very least. Go to there anyway. Yes, this group of tanks here, I've decreased the angle by 10 degrees. Because I felt it was actually over 45 at this range. It didn't quite look right after looking back at the footage. So I decided, let's just decrease the angle a bit and go from there. And that out of the way, let us begin. Turn on the icons. First one, as is always, shall be armor piercing by explosive. Range is, as always, about 300. A bit long, but it should be fine. And aim for the front plate. Hits. And that may not have gone through. It actually looks like it's building on the outside. 3, we'll give it 5 shots each. 4, oh, it went through and killed finally. Alright then. So it can penetrate the KV-1 at this range from the front. That Sherman, I expect to have problems with. First shot away. Okay, no good. 2 shots. Let's actually aim for that one of those bulges and see what happens. We'll give it the 3rd shot to the center of the front plate. Again, I don't expect it to penetrate at this range. Or at all. And then see what happens if I hit the bulge. That's 5 and it managed to survive. Give it 1 extra just to... Yeah. Looks like that hatch is now popped open. Maybe, but it looks like she survived. Again, proving my theory correct. We'll give one shot to this bulge as well. Yeah, that killed her. See, if you go through the bulges, it appears to be able to kill, but other than the front plate, anywhere else on the front plate, it appears to just fail to penetrate. Because if it is that 91 millimeters, it doesn't have the penetration to go through. Heck, even with the 55-degree one, it's like 1 millimeter extra armor, 2-ish, because 88.9 or something like that. So it's very close, and hopefully this should go through on the T-34. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting this to go through. 4. Surprising. I should have actually brought out a 4th tank for this. Considering I'll give it 1 extra. Yeah. That's surprising. I should have brought out a 4th tank. Considering the fact that the T-34 has actually survived that when I expected it to fail. I mean, it may be penetrating, but again, especially with the old tanks, the damage model is not the best. Now, the redefined angle. I expect this to not work at all. But for science, we incompleted them because this isn't a heat shell and there's a chance that it may go through like a window or the bulges on the Sherman. We shall complete this. And that just flew off into space. As did that. 3. Yeah. 4. 5. Yeah. No hope at this range, at this angle. In fact, it may just have bounced off the no touchy zone on the front of the KV-1, which is the 60-degree slope, which is effectively over 100 millimeters thick. Alright. First shot the Sherman. Second shot. Oh, it actually killed. That's interesting. Did not expect it to kill. Unless that ricocheted up into the bulge. Because at that angle, that should be 125 millimeters of protection. Interesting. First shot against the T-34. Second shot there. Third shot. Fourth shot. And didn't penetrate the T-34. Alright, so my expectations are being proven wrong in some cases, but also correct in others. And very interesting wrong in that case of the Sherman. I'm actually probably going to look at that. I'm going to try to avoid looking at it, but that's just so interesting that to me it warrants going and looking at it, because I expected that to just skip clean off and not kill in 2, unless I hit the side by accident. Either way, next group up is these guys. They're about... I hit the right button. 700. Again, at this range, unless you get very lucky and go through the port, I don't expect this to penetrate. Because at this range, it's 60-something millimeters penetration. Or 5. Yeah, and she's still alive. We'll give her one last shot to make sure. Yeah. And our Sherman, which again, unless it hits a bulge, I don't expect to penetrate. First shot, which looks like it bounced clean off. Second hit. Third hit and bounced. Fourth looks like it bounced clean off. And fifth. So my expectations being proven there, and of course I can't zoom into any further to actually pinpoint laser accurate onto the bulge. And first shot gets the T-34, hit. Second. That's interesting. It didn't kill the T-34 at close range, but it killed it at long range. Hold on. Let's call it about there. That was low. That's quite interesting because their holes are angled about the same. That is very interesting. And so it's about 800 for these guys. Pick it up. 800. And first shot. Again, I expect this to do nothing really. Second shot. Third shot. Bounce clean off. Fourth shot. Fifth shot. And again, looks like she survived. Again, though, as is always, I can't see inside. Again, something may have penetrated and killed the driver, just nothing else. Our Sherman friend, I wonder if it's going to exhibit the same thing happened to the other one. First shot. Second shot. Bounced. Third shot. Hit. Fourth shot. Definitely bounced. The fifth shot definitely bounced. Well, so she survived there, so my expectations are proving correct on this side so far. And our final one here. First shot that was actually high, hit the turret. Second shot that hit the drive sprocket. Third shot. Hit the drive sprocket again. Fourth shot. Again with the drive sprocket. Fifth shot. And that looks to be bounced clean off. Okay, my expectations on that side were fulfilled. Not so much on the coast side, and kind of fulfilled on the close one, and also interestingly fulfilled on the long one for the straight on. Now we're going to jump over to the sub-caliber. So I will just do a quick cut while we bring out new tanks, and I will see you for that. Alright, welcome back. We have now cleaned up the course, gotten fresh tanks, and we're now loaded with our sub-caliber ammunition, which in the case of the Panzer IIIM has a penetrator caliber of 21 millimeters, down from 50. So not quite as substantial as the 88's reduction from 88 to 37, but still reduction of more than half. There. Take control. Now, my expectations for this are at close range, it should go through, hopefully, provided it doesn't bounce. Something that may happen. However, I think this is a higher velocity, so it may equal out to actually penetrating at this kind of range. The close ones, it may go through the long distance ones. And again, it may do some stuff to the angled ones. But it's going to be interesting either way, I feel. Zoom her in. About 300. That's over 300. And begin testing. First shot. Definitely hit. Definitely penetrated. Second shot. Killed. Actually performed better than the EPHE, and only one guy got out. He's now hiding behind the... Nope, two guys got out. Three. Oh, no, looks like the crew's getting out. They just had to bail. But yeah, no, that definitely penetrated. Alright, so, Sherman, first shot. That looks like it bounced. Second shot. Also looks like it bounced. Third shot. Bounced. Fourth shot. maybe penetrated. Fifth shot penetrated. Okay, so it can go through the plate on the Sherman, unlike the Tiger, which just seemed to bounce off unless it actually penetrated and then killed it in the same shot. But it also bounced. But it did go through, which Tiger one did go through as well, but it didn't quite bounce quite as much. Be interesting to see long range. Alright, our T-34 friend. First shot. That was low. Second shot hits and penetrated and is killed. It actually went all the way through. There we go. She's performing much better with this shell. Especially at close range. Over at long range, she still has better penetration with this shell at 500 meters, but beyond that, you're actually better with the APHE. Alright, our T-30, our KV-1. At this angle, however, I expect these to just bounce clean off. First shot. Actually, it looks like it penetrated. That one bounced. Third shot. That's actually quite interesting. Alright, I did not expect that to kill. Or for the AI to decide to abandon tank. Alright then, that was interesting. I expected that to just bounce clean off. Interesting gun, this gun. Let's put it at that. First shot, hit. I was about to say it killed it, but no, it didn't. Second shot. Nice hit. And hasn't bounced so far. Third shot. They may be bouncing, but they may be just ricocheting off too fast for me to see. Fourth shot. And fifth shot. So much as expected, much like the Tiger, the angled Sherman has given this gun enough problems that it can't penetrate. And then our angled T-34 friend. First shot as hit, may penetrate. Second shot. Third shot, that may bounce. Fourth shot. And fifth shot. And it looks like she survived, but again, the driver may be dead. Carrier may be wounded, stuff like that. Of course, realistically, you would shoot for the side, you wouldn't shoot for the whole plate. This is just a best case scenario test as normal. Now then, our long range friends. It should be 700. First shot away. That's actually hit and I don't know if it penetrated or not. Second shot hit. Third shot definitely bounced. Fourth shot hit. And fifth shot went somewhere. I didn't actually see that. Did that go over? We'll give it one more fifth shot. No, that definitely hit. And yep, looks like, as expected, at this 700 meters, not quite enough penetration to go through these guys. It may go through the T-34. First shot against the Sherman. Definitely hit. Second shot. Bounce clean off. Third shot, bounce clean off. Fourth shot hit. Fifth shot hit. And that fifth shot actually looked like it drifted over and may have hit the driver's cupola, so that one may have actually penetrated. Yeah. But mostly immune, and I suspect the case, much like the Tiger shell, if you can manage to get yourself in a position where the armor is much flatter, I feel the APHE, not the subcaliber, will actually go through fine if you can get the angle down. I think it's just the angle that's causing problems with the Tiger subcaliber. First shot. Second shot. Third First shot in this range, it actually shouldn't penetrate the T-34 if my math is correct. First shot, because it has a penetration of less than 70 at beyond 500, so it's 67 to 500, and it's roughly 30, not 30, it's roughly 75 millimeters of armor at that front-on angle on the hull front of the T-34. Either way, our angle test, which I again expect this to not penetrate, but we shall see. First shot. Second shot. Again, though it's hitting, but it's not bouncing. Third shot. That bounced. Fourth shot. Hit. And fifth shot. Hit. Appears to have once again held up fine. Our Sherman. First shot. Second shot. Our third shot. Bounce clean off. First shot hit. That actually hit the side, looks like. And fifth shot. Hit. Maybe a couple penetrations there, because it looks like one drifted sideways and maybe hit either the bulge or the very edge of the side armor, which it probably would have penetrated. And then maybe one bulge hit on the left side, so maybe down a driver and a assistant driver. I almost said radio operator. Not a radio operator in the Sherman, it's a co-driver who mans the machine gun, so he's more a battle machine gunner. But T-34, again, expect no penetrations at this range, or it shouldn't kill it at this range in 5 shots. Second shot. Third shot. Fourth shot. And fifth shot. There we go. All in all, not well, not too bad for a for this gun, considering the penetration it has. The fact that it actually managed to go through and kill front on the Sherman and the KV-1 and T-34, and also angledly killed a T-34 at close range at least. I give it a good, it's not a bad gun. It's just, I put up against quite a challenge with this, considering the armor amounts that these tanks have. In most cases, just straight up matching the penetrations at close range and being basically immune at beyond 500. So basically, if you're in this thing, get the side, if at all possible. I mean, unless you're at very close range, unless you're against the Sherman at very close range, use ABHE, not a subcaliber. It's the KV-1 and T-34. But yeah, side armor is best armor. Penetration characteristics in this case. And then, just because I'm curious, finish spectate. As soon as it finishes, there it goes. Finish. I want to see. It is the first one. It is. I give my mission names the most inventive names, at least for these tests. They're just called firing range. So, should be this Sherman here, this angled Sherman. I want to see roughly where it hits. Is that the first shot of the Sherman? It's about to be. Alright. We'll just let it run. Yeah, it actually looks to have hit the bulge. I want to trace that shot back. First shot looks to hit the bulge-ish front plate. Second one hit the other bulge. Alright, that explains that. That's my curiosity sated. It hit the bulges, which are nowhere near as angled, and it had the penetration to go through. So, in that case, if you can hit the bulges at close range against an angled Sherman, go for it. In fact, with APHE, and also with the APCR, if you can hit the bulges, go for the bulges. They're less angled and have the same armor, so less effective armor. And less angled means you're less likely to bounce clean off with the APHE. The APCR, not the APHE. The APHE, though, is more likely to penetrate at angles. There we go. Hope you found this helpful, and then we'll do the KV-1 next.